Right, we've just got these last few sections to complete. One thing that I've noticed as I've been doing this colouring is it's quite important to start from the top and work your way down, because if your hand rubs over a piece that you have just coloured, you can get smudges and smears, and you don't want to do all this work and take all this time to end up with smudges and smears. So again, I'm going around the edges of the shapes before I colour them in. That way it makes it a bit neater, these last few to do. Okay, that's my op art picture, fairly complete. There's just one more stage to do that I'll talk to you about in a minute. So we're thinking particularly about how artists use maths to create their artwork. And we'll just remind ourselves of the maths that we've used in creating this picture. So we started off by drawing a circle, 3 circles in fact. But we want our circles to look like spheres. We want to change them from a 2D shape to a 3D shape. That's why we've created this op art picture. We also made vertical lines. They're lines that go from the bottom of your paper straight up to the top. And our vertical lines were parallel to each other, because parallel lines follow the same course, always the same distance apart, never meeting. And after we'd done our vertical parallel lines, we then did horizontal parallel lines, and they go across, horizontal lines go across from one side of the paper to the other, and our horizontal lines were parallel as well. Another term that we didn't talk about was perpendicular. Perpendicular. It's a funny word, isn't it? Perpendicular. And that's lines that are at right angles to each other. So if I put a square here, you can see, because I've got a square corner here or a right angled corner, that this line and this line are perpendicular to each other, and this line and this line are perpendicular. We also made shapes. All these shapes here, squares and rectangles, are all polygons. Polygons are any shape that have got a straight side. So the curved lines that we've got in our circles, we've tried to make look like spheres, they're not polygons because they're curved lines. Right, so for the finishing touches, we're going to try and make our spheres look even more three-dimensional by creating a shadow, as if the light was shining upon them. So we'll give it form, which is a term of art, an element of art, to create form, to make something look 3D. So to do that, we're going to use some charcoal. You've got to be brave because you've done all this work. Come down. This will actually be more effective if you haven't done black. And then creating like a charcoal border. And then get a tissue or a paper towel and just smudge it. That looks a bit like a shadow. Same on this one. You need to make sure that your shadows are all on the same side of your shapes. So we're trying to think about where the light source is coming from and where the shadow would be if this were a 3D shape and not a 2D shape. It's actually a lot easier to do with a big circle. So you're creating like a curve with your charcoal. And then get your tissue, smudge it. If you get any charcoal where you don't want it to be, you can use your rubber and rub it out. Don't really want there to be any on there, so I can just rub those bits out. And then my last circle, lost my charcoal. I was here. Get your tissue. And that is our op art picture inspired by the work of Bridget Riley.